Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. We have Craig Burley and Shaka Hislop here in the studio with me, Kay Murray, and it is the Madrid and Mbappe saga, part 4, just this week. I don't know how many days it's been.
Why are you looking at Craig when you say that? Why are you concerned looking at Craig?
Can I put my hand up before we introduce the other guests? And I feel like I need to put my hand up as a classroom. Am I the only one that's already sick of this Kylian Mbappe story?
There's an update.
What?
There's an update today. So he's on international duty, obviously, but Euro qualification coming up. He's spoken in the press conference, and this is what he's had to say about the whole letter topic. He said, I've already spoken about this. I've said that my objective is to stay at PSG. It's my only option right now. I'm ready to come back for pre-season. I don't need to explain. People can criticise and analyse. They don't know the ins and outs. Too bad for them. I know why I'm doing this. There's no issue with that. Honestly, I did not think I was going to offend anyone. I only sent a letter. Much ado about nothing, after all. It was only a letter.
Just a letter. I actually don't think I'm the only person in Connecticut that's fed up with this. I don't. It's like I just.
We have all summer.
I am plotting my summer accordingly. When I saw the email come out from the producer today with some topics, and I thought, well, I'll give it a glance just for a change, just to see if there's anything interesting. And the top line was Kylian Mbappe. I was like that with my phone. Yeah, get out. I'm not going in.
Well, the good news
Sick to death of it. Sick to death of it already. I'm not being funny. I'm not actually joking. I'm deadly serious. If we start with Kylian Mbappe, I'm going.
We are starting there, but don't worry.
No.
Poor Julien Laurent keeps getting called back.
Luis's hand is up as well.
Something's getting said, but Luis Garcia's got his hand up, so let's go there.
I'm with Craig. I'm raising my hand because I'm with Craig. I mean, we just started, and it's really getting tired. He can decide. He can decide. I mean, I'm fine if he wants to stay or if he wants to leave. That's fine. But once for all, I would like to know what is he really gonna do in the next coming months, at least.
Well, that only leaves Shaka and Julien.
OK, so let me ask Jules this then, because it's going to be interesting to see if PSG will just welcome him back with open arms after this, Jules. Yesterday, L'Équipe was saying that tensions are at an all-time high between the club and Kylian Mbappe. What's going on right now there between those two?
Yeah, I don't think it's about welcoming him back or not welcoming him back. We explained, I think, quite well yesterday, the win-win situation that he created for himself, which was his idea from the beginning and the people around him, in the sense that, like he repeated today, he's happy to stay, he wants to stay. That means for the club that then he will be a free agent and will leave on a free in 12 months' time, which is not what the club wants right now. They don't want to lose him on a free. So they would want to sell him now if that's really what he wants, as in like not extend his contract after 2024. So if they're ready to sell him now, and Real Madrid or some English clubs maybe, there would be a market for him, of course. Then that also suits him. So he cannot lose. He really cannot lose. And today he finished the press conference, and again we knew he was going to talk because France played tomorrow as a captain. He was always going to do the press conference today. He knew we were going to ask questions. He said, like, can we talk about the game? But he knew exactly what we were going to ask. And I think he was expecting the questions. He had his answers ready. And at the end, he said, but I don't care what people think anyway. You don't know all the ins and outs. I do. I know what I'm doing. And that's the most important. And that's him. That's Kylian Mbappe for you. So I really think that he won't be a PSG player comes August or September, because I really think they can't afford to keep him and then let him go on a free. So they would try and look to sell him.
OK, that makes it a bit more interesting.
If you don't mind, and I'm not want to be rude here, but I'm playing Sudoku.
No, but
so if you guys want to carry on, I'm OK with that. As long as you're OK with it, I'm playing Sudoku.
You play that then. That's interesting, though, isn't it, Shaka, to hear Jules say that he doesn't think that he will be there.
Yeah, I think Jules has done a really good job over the last couple of days, kind of detailing where we are with Kylian Mbappe. And truth is,
we've been talking about this for 2 days.
Oh, we've only just started. And to Jules's point, I think what Kylian Mbappe is saying here is that, he's in a win-win and saying that I don't want to move. And if I move this summer, it's not because of this letter that I wrote. It's not because of a request that I made behind closed doors. It's because the club sold me. But the full expectation is that the club, knowing that he's going to leave in 12 months' time on a free, if it gets to that, want to get money in, whether they ask for 150, whether they can get 200 that they turned down, 18 months ago. They want to get something. And all Kylian Mbappe is doing right now is saying that if I'm sold, or more to the point, when I'm sold this summer, it's not because I wanted to go, it's because the club wanted me to go right now. And that's all. He's just playing. He's just playing both sides of the fiddle here. And understandably, and to Jules' point again, he put himself in this position, so he's making the most of it.
Jules, you mentioned English teams there when we first came to you tonight. Is there any chance it isn't Real Madrid that he goes to and we might see him in the Premier League?
Yeah, of course. I think still anything is possible, even if I think the marriage between Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid, and we've explained many times, is long due and will happen at some point, I think inevitably. If you're any of the top 6, top 7 English clubs, you try, you go for it, you sell your club, you present a project, you put everything on the table, you go in thinking that you can convince him to choose you in a way, because it's a bit like that. Of course, it'll be even easier if he becomes a free agent and if he does stay his final year of his contract in Paris, and then at the summer 2024, there's a huge battle to get him as a free agent. But even now, listen, if you're Liverpool and maybe you don't have that kind of money now, let's say 150 million, you find it. Your ownership have to find it. Your sponsors. It would be such an incredible signing for any of the English, for any club really, but for any of the English clubs. You try to put together a structure in terms of transfer fee, wages, what you can bring to him, what he can bring to you, and you do your best PowerPoint ever, and you present it to him, to his mum, and to his dad. And then you see the worst that can happen is that he says no to you. It's okay. Players have said no to clubs before. They will in the future. This is normal. This is the life of a football club. So go for it. You have to go for it. And then maybe a Liverpool, maybe a City if they're in, maybe a United, maybe even the others. Maybe someone can go there and convince him. But I do think that if Real Madrid come up with the offer and that everything is ready already almost, then I think he will choose them because, as we've said many times again in the last 2 years, it's his dream. They've been chasing him for so many years that now if they can get him, I don't think they will let that opportunity go.
OK, Jules, so if he does go from PSG, what does it mean for PSG's project?
That's a really good question. That's the big debate in Paris. Can you recover if from PSG, from a PSG point of view, can you recover from losing in the same summer Messi and Mbappe, with Neymar, I was going to say on the brink of leaving. He's not really on the brink of leaving, but Neymar is a player that you don't really want anymore in your squad. So it's a huge rebuild. Not so much a rebuild in terms of like how your team is going to play. I mean, by the way, you still don't have a manager, but it's more like who is your next marquee signing, because your brand especially have gone all this way because of Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, and I guess before that, Thiago Silva or Ibrahimovic, those kind of guys. So to replace Mbappe, just in terms of standing and the kind of players that you can sign, it won't be easy. So we will have to see. I think if you go and get an Osimhen, a Bernardo Silva, those kind of stars, they may be not as superstars and certainly not as big as Messi, for example, or even Neymar or Kylian. But at least there's something there, but it won't be the same. So I cannot see how they can replace Messi and Mbappe with the kind of same standard. It's impossible. There are nobody, unless it's Erling Haaland who's not going to move. It's going to be very difficult. So already they're going to lose. Already we know that. It's how badly they lose and who can come in to replace those guys and still keep the standard of PSG as high as possible, I guess.
Did you win your game?
No, well, I forgot my glasses, so I couldn't see the numbers.
Can I suggest Wordle instead, mate?
He's not going to go to anybody in England, is he? I mean, would City push the boat out for Mbappe because is he better than does he improve the collective? Does he fit into the ethos of the work rate and, being about the team, and Guardiola asking players to do different things. I'm not sure he does.
Would any top manager say no to Kylian Mbappe, though?
Well, I mean, it's not saying no to him. I mean, a manager might say no. I mean, if you're Guardiola and you're not going to lose any of these players, and they've all done ever so well for you, the Bernardo Silvas and the Grealish and the Riyad Mahrez, and I'm not suggesting individually, clearly they are fantastic players, but they're not Mbappe's level. But that he brings a different problem. So maybe a Guardiola would say, well, I really love him as a player, but actually, do we want to go and spend 200 million, whatever it is, and upset the apple cart? I'm not sure City want to do that or have any interest in doing that. You may have noticed they've just won a treble. As for the rest, why would Mbappe go to a Liverpool, even if they had the money? Because there's no guarantee after last year that they're going to be back amongst the elite. They may be, but they might have another indifferent season like they had this year, and Klopp might start thinking twice. Chelsea's a circus. You know, they're outbidding gazillion pounds still for players, you know, paying over the odds, inflating the market. Man United, you know, you would imagine have a fair amount of clout financially. But is that going to make the big step for him? So does he want to go from a side in PSG into a team in England that may or may not be challenging, rather than going to Real Madrid? We know Real Madrid are going to be challenging next year. We know they're going to be strong. That's what they do. They bounce back. And ultimately, I think that's where he's going to go. I don't think there's a 5% chance he's going to go to England.
You missed Newcastle. If the worst that can happen is a no, what about Newcastle, Shaka?
Newcastle have the money, but as I keep saying, all these suggestions come out of Newcastle is that that's not the kind of player that they're going after just yet. Kylian Mbappe or players of that standard come available only so often at any time, so maybe that changes that approach. But I just don't see that. I don't see any English club being a fit for Kylian Mbappe for a number of reasons. The only one, stylistically, maybe is Manchester City, but then they've got financial fair play regulations kind of hanging over their heads. I'm not quite sure how you then add a £200 million purchase to that, plus the wages that Kylian Mbappe would clearly command, given everything that's going on financially with them. Manchester United, by all accounts, have turned down Harry Kane because it's a little too expensive. Okay, he's 29 years old, so maybe they are willing to go a little bit further for Kylian Mbappe. But again, how much further if they aren't prepared to push that boat out for Harry Kane, a player they quite clearly need? I don't see Liverpool, I don't see Chelsea, especially no Champions League football for either of those this season. So that really just leaves Newcastle, which I spoke about. So for me, it comes down to Real Madrid or bust. And I don't see how Kylian Mbappe kind of causes this stir without having that in mind, having the club that he wants to go to in mind. And for me, the only fit is Real.
Are we really having a conversation here that includes Kylian Mbappe and Newcastle?
Just having a bit of because if the worst that can happen is
listen, I love me a bit in Newcastle. It's a great story, but yeah, listen, let's have a bit of realism.
I hear he wants to wear the number 15 that I wore back.
I'll drive him to Real. I will drive him
wants
to
to wear
Madrid.
number 15 for Newcastle.
I'll drive him to Madrid if it means him signing for Madrid.
Now we'll talk about him even more.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will. And you can keep up to date with everything that's been going on in this Kylian Mbappe saga by checking out our YouTube page.
Well, funny enough, I've not been checking it out.
Well, go back, check over the archives. You can catch up and stay up to date with everything that's going on with Kylian Mbappe there.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.